When you dominate Formula 1 for 4 straight years without competition, there's about to be a little bit of tension between you and the drivers. But when you accompany that domination with Max Verstappen's tempo,
for sake, man! I'd expect it next time the same, you know?
a lot of drivers gonna hate on you. And no better example than the beef and the feud between Max Verstappen and George Russell. The feud started in Qatar when Max Verstappen was stripped of his pole position because he was driving slowly and getting in the way of George Russell, who was trying to set the fastest lap. Max was furious about that, especially the way George Russell complained to the stewards. He came out and said, "I've never seen someone trying to screw someone over that hard. I lost all respect for George." He thought as if George Russell made a big deal out of the incident. But then later in an interview, George Russell will reveal that Max said a little bit more words than just losing respect. He said that Max told him that he was going to let him pass him tomorrow in the race, but now he'll have to purposely go out of his way to put his fucking head into the wall. Looking at George Russell's head, I don't think that would be a big of an issue. But George Russell didn't hold back. He said that Max was furious before he even got to explain to him anything, and that Max was a bully and the other drivers didn't stand up to him. And he also said that Max Verstappen did kind of the same thing when he helped Lando Norris get penalized for speeding in the double yellow in Qatar Grand Prix. George Russell will say that you can't question his driving ability, but he cannot deal with adversity, while also referencing Jeddah 2021 and Brazil 2021 and Budapest 2024. Of course, he's talking about the crashes with Lewis Hamilton and how Max didn't react right to them. He also said that he doesn't think that Max Verstappen would have taken it lightly if the result of the 2021 Grand Prix didn't go in his favor. In response to all this accusation, Max Verstappen will come out and say George is a backstepper, that he brings all this stuff up, he's just a loser. This was kind of the end of the back and forth, and when asked about the beef in an interview before the start of this season, and if the both of them cleared the air, Max replied saying, "No, it's shockingly bad." In a joking manner, of course.
Max and George, you were having a good old chat before Lando came in. Have you cleared the air? Is everything good between you now?
No, it's still shockingly bad.
Well, I don't think both of them are in a good relationship right now. I think that they've let it go because there's no point in taking it any further. An instance that George Russell mentioned was between Max Verstappen and our second feud of the video, Esteban Ocon. This feud happened in the Brazilian Grand Prix when Esteban Ocon was trying to lap himself and make contact with Max Verstappen, likely costing him the race, and he just finished second behind Lewis Hamilton. In the radio, Max Verstappen will call Ocon an idiot and say, "I hope I can fight him now in the paddock because this guy has a fucking problem." And well, those were not just words. Max Verstappen will meet Ocon after the race and he shoved him. Ocon in response will say that he is really surprised of the behavior on Max and that the FIA have to stop such violent behavior. And well, they kinda did. They give Max Verstappen 2 days of public service. All this happened between Max Verstappen and Ocon because of just one crash. By 31 to the 2021 season, Max and Hamilton collided 3 times in that season and 5 times total in their careers. I wouldn't call the 2021 a feud or a beef between the both of them, but you could feel the tension between the both of them. After every race, after every collision, the blame was shifting. And although Hamilton didn't make a big deal after the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, we all know that he was furious about it. I mean, how can you not be after such decision? Losing the title, a record-setting title, in that fashion is just devastating. A feud where Max Verstappen was not the instigator is the one with Lando Norris. After a wet race where Lando Norris lost the opportunity of winning that race, and Max Verstappen displayed an unbelievable drive in winning that race, Lando Norris will come out and say that that wasn't talent, it was just luck. And well, it didn't lead to any big back and forth between the both of them. Actually, Max Verstappen will come in the interview and say that he knows that Lando is a nice guy and that losing that race in that fashion made him frustrated, and the last thing you want is a camera in your face asking you dumb questions. Another micro beef between two drivers is Max and Ricciardo. When Ricciardo was the faster driver on that race, and Max was a little bit stubborn, which led to both of them crashing. Just the looks of Ricciardo after that crash tells you a lot. While that created a little bit of tension between the two drivers, Ricciardo didn't last long as Max's teammate. And being an Australian and such a nice guy, Ricciardo just let it slide, and he said that him and Max go along very well. which I don't think is surprising. Another feud with a teammate was between Max Verstappen and Checo, but this one is a little bit bigger. In his debut season with Red Bull, Checo took a secondary role to Max Verstappen, with Horner coming out of the season saying that he was an incredible servant for the team and he helped his teammate in numerous occasions, and that he did a stunning job of backing Lewis Hamilton in the last race, and without him, Max wouldn't have won the championship. So the next reason, before the Spanish Grand Prix, Red Bull was first and second in both the driver leaderboard and the constructors. In the race, Perez was behind Verstappen, but he was much quicker, and he asked the race crew to let him pass Verstappen, but Verstappen did not yield. Later in the race, with Perez was ahead of Verstappen, they ordered Checo to let his teammate through. At the moment, Checo called the move very unfair, and after the race, he said, "I'm happy for the team, but we need to speak later." In the same season, the last two races, Max had already secured his championship, but the second place was still up for grabs between Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc. So in Brazil, where Verstappen and Perez were well off of the podium in P6 and P7 respectively, switching position would have helped Perez tremendously in his chase for the second place, but Verstappen refused to let Perez through, and he was visibly upset on the radio, saying,
I told you already last time, you guys don't ask that again to me. Okay? Are we clear about that? Gave my reasons, and I stand by it.
And it wasn't a surprise that Checo was not happy. He said, "It shows who he really is. After all I have done for him, it is a bit disappointing, to be honest. I'm really surprised." Coming to the last race of the season, the second position was still up for grabs. All Perez needed to do was end up ahead of Charles Leclerc. At the time, Verstappen was first, Leclerc second, and Perez third. So a logical thing to do was for Max to slow down so he can hold Charles Leclerc and help Perez catch up. Something similar to what Perez did last year when he held Hamilton for Verstappen to catch up. Verstappen came after the race and said there was no team orders, but even if there was, he would have not complied. Also saying, "You can possibly block, but is that fair racing? I think not the nicest way to go out of the season like that." With Checo not being as competitive in the next two seasons, the feud came to a halt. I can add here another instances between Max Verstappen and FIA, but I mean every single driver has an issue with FIA. So yeah, this is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.